This is Prep Sports Now, a Las Vegas Sun sports podcast. I'm Ray Brewer, talking everything high school football. It's the playoffs. Before we get going, thank you to the Las Vegas Aviators and the A's for their sponsor of this podcast and all of our high school sports programming here at Las Vegas Sun. Really appreciate you guys believing in high school sports. Yep, the playoffs are here. We started this summer. It was 110 degrees. We were taking water breaks in between quarters. And now all of a sudden, it's so windy outside. I'm afraid the wind is going to populate into the audio of the podcast today. So happy that we've made it this far, and getting ready to crown some champions. Got to tell you, I'm a little bothered, and I was trying to formulate a good opinion, and I just don't know how to feel. So Valley, Rancho, Silverado, and Sunrise Mountain have yet to win a football game this year. Rancho, Valley, Silverado, Sunrise Mountain, all winless. Yet, on Friday night, they will be playing in a playoff game. Find that a little troubling at first because it clearly devalues the accomplishment of reaching the postseason, right? It's something you should be proud of, something you've worked hard to earn. You're in the playoffs, but the way realignment worked out, everybody gets in. So there's no pressure in the regular season. Maybe win some rivalry games and you get in and you get to play. And so on one side of the coin, I say, yeah, this waters down everything and I hate it. But on the other side of the coin, I remember 2020 and COVID and losing the season and how we were just desperate to play. And, well, Friday night, these four teams, Rancho Valley, Silverado, Sunrise Mountain, are all going to get an opportunity to play. And that's what we're about, right? It's wins and losses are important, and it's how you're measured in their standings and everything. But ultimately, in 20 years, when you're going to your class reunion, it's the memories you have of participating that are going to stand out. So I guess shout out to, the four, Rancho, Valley, Silverado, Sunrise Mountain, on being a playoff qualifier. Or shout out to everybody next, August on the first day when you're a playoff qualifier. So see two sides of that coin. And as crazy as the season has been this year, folks, there's a great chance that one of these teams might win a game, right? So I guess you're on upset alert if you're Canyon Springs hosting Valley, even though Canyon Springs beat Valley 59-6 last week. Or are you on upset alert if you're Desert Oasis hosting Sunrise Mountain, right? At the beginning of the year, everybody probably had Sunrise Mountain, which just got out of the, losing in the state championship game, probably had them better than Desert Oasis. So is there an upset alert coming in that game? The playoffs are here, except in the big division, the Class 5A Division 1, final week of the regular season. Game of the night is Bishop Gorman, of course, the defending state champions. Probably a label we could use every year for the next 15 years, like we have the last 15 years. But Bishop Gorman, defending state champions, at the Coronado Cougars. Aiden Krause, J.J. Buchanan. How many touchdowns could the Cougars score on the Gales? They're not going to beat them, but do they score twice? Is that the benchmark on Bishop Gorman? We'll find out on Friday night. Other games in the classification not as sexy. Arbor View, which last week hung on to beat Liberty at Liberty, 7-1. They're playing at the Foothill Falcons, my neighborhood school. Arbor View has got the 2 seed wrapped up in the playoffs. Win or lose, just keeping some positive momentum. Liberty is at Basic. Should be a win for the Patriots as they get ready for the playoffs as well. I mean, I guess as everybody gets ready for the playoffs as well. So big game coming down the horn Friday night. Everybody's ready to go. We're super excited. The playoffs are here. A few interesting moments, to say the least, expected, because this has been a season of the unexpected. There's been teams that have overperformed, teams that have underperformed, right? We got, week one, Palo Verde's supposed to go into Las Vegas and smash Las Vegas, and what happens? Las Vegas beats Palo Verde. Kind of set the table for a season of upsets all the way through. Got to talk about the 3A. I know that folks are excited for the playoffs to get going. Again, Truckee, back-to-back defending state champs in Northern Nevada. They are the clear leaders in the clubhouse. Slam wins the 3A Southern League. They get a bye. Moapa Valley beats Virgin in the Hammer game pretty convincingly, actually. They get a bye. That means Virgin Valley plays Democracy Prep. Of course, double forfeit the last time they played. And Monterey's best quarterback in the classification at Pahrump Valley. Nobody wins at Pahrump, not in their preseason, regular season, or in the playoffs. So it could be next week a rematch, Virgin against Moapa and Salam against Pahrump down here in Vegas. So playoffs are set there. Should be ready to go. Other games of note last week: Mojave over Somerset Losi to win the 4A division. They get the bye as the Rattlers of Mojave. Somerset hosts Rancho, which is essentially a bye, except you have to go out there and try not to get injured. And we will continue to get good games. My Shab Cowboys, upset of the week. They beat Spring Valley. They're 5-4. They host Del Sol. Of course, Spring Valley already had the number one seed locked up for the playoffs, so nothing to see there. And, Shadow Ridge getting hot. Put up a lot of points again last week. They're 7-3. They host Sierra Vista 2-7. Legacy already had a bye. They're 6-4. They host the winless Silverado Skyhawks. Folks, the playoffs, you either win or you get ready for wrestling and basketball. Should get interesting. We're going to move to the picks. Of course, Prep Sports Now, usually not a one-person show. A lot of people show up for Case Kiefer. Case covers the Raiders now for the Sun. Got that promotion, baby. I'm here by myself doing Prep Sports Now. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, hit me up on Twitter at RayBrewer21. Of course, looking forward talking high school football as we go through the playoffs. Let's look at the picks. Gorman at Coronado starting us off. Of course, the Gales aren't losing to anybody. It's can Coronado get those 2 touchdowns? Give me Gorman and give me the under 14 points for Coronado. I'll do a $5 bet with myself. If I win, I go get a $5 meal bag somewhere. If I lose, I get $5 worth of fruit, and I force myself to eat that. Next up, Liberty at Basic. Boy, the Patriots were close against Arborview, and, I'd like to still think that Liberty's going to give somebody a fight at the end. They're playing so good right now. That game was a bounce away. Great third down conversion by Thaddeus Thatcher to kind of lock up the game. Patriots only have 3 wins, but never count out the dogs. Liberty should get it done at Basic. I got Liberty. Next game, Silverado at Legacy. Listen, one of those 0-9 games, probably not going to be the upset. Legacy ready for another long playoff run. They are the defending 4A state champions. Next game, Sunrise Mountain at Desert Oasis. Listen, Sunrise Mountain hasn't been able to get right all year. Dio's hosting a home playoff game. This will be the closest of the 4 games featuring winless teams, but Dio will win. Sierra Vista at Shadow Ridge. Get the clock running because Shadow Ridge will win big. Valley at Canyon. They played last week. 8 days later, we got to play each other again. It was a blowout. It'll be a blowout again. Rancho at Somerset Losi. It'll be another blowout. Get the running clock going. Somerset's going to crush them. Bonanza at Cimarron Memorial. Shout out to Cimarron. They beat Cheyenne in the big rivalry game. The Duel in the Desert Trophy stays with Cimarron. They host Bonanza. Cimarron going to get a playoff dub. Give me the Spartans. Western at Cheyenne. This game was really, really close a few weeks ago. I had Western. I was wrong. Cheyenne barely won. I'm going with Cheyenne this time. Hopefully I'm not wrong. To be announced. Del Sol at Shap. Never pick against my Cowboys. You know, my Vaqueros. Here we go. Shap Cowboys get a playoff dub. Clark at Durango. Arguably the game of the week. You know, Durango lost pretty bad last week. Clark is better than a lot of people think. Durango struggles to score, plays decent defense and special teams. I got the Trailblazers, but this one's going to be close. Palo Verde at Green Valley. This one will not be close. The Gators get it done. Democracy Prep at Virgin Valley. Virgin picks its stuff up the floor, gets a big win, and then gets ready for a rematch in the playoffs with Mawapa. And last but not least, Mater East at Pahrump. I don't know what it is about going to Pahrump, but nobody wins there. Coach Two and the boys are going to have their hands full. I've got Pahrump, of course. Folks, I love Prep Sports Now. I love all our supporters. We've been doing this show for 15 years. And high school football, man, while I always rip on realignment because it gives us these 0-9 and 0-10 teams in the playoffs, I am not oblivious to the fact that there's going to be teams out there playing for state championships who wouldn't have got the opportunity back in the day when, you know, Western was having to play Gorman. And that's pretty cool because, you know, I was there when Centennial beat Sunrise Mountain for state last year. And, you know, it's one of those opportunities to win, or those two championships that Silverado and Andy Ostalaza got. Wouldn't have happened without realignment or legacy last year. Coach Zach, one of the smart young minds in the game. Dominic Oliver, the Longhorn. So get ready for the playoffs. I don't know where the upset is on this piece of paper, but I have seen more upsets this year than the last decade, and something crazy is going to happen on Friday night, which is why they, in fact, play the games. Wishing everybody a happy Halloween, happy Day of the Dead if you celebrate, and thank you to the A's and Aviators. We will be here again. We is me and whomever hits me up on Twitter at RayBrewer21 next week to do a little Prep Sports Now. For Ray, I'm Ray, and I hope everybody has a blessed week of high school football games.